Got the seats in. I didn't show you any of it. Used some awesome brackets from FDF Race Shop. They are great. They're very adjustable, and the design is about as good as you could ever hope for on a Corvette, from what I've used anyway. Kirkey seats. These are leftovers. This is an old one from my GLTC car, and that's one I bought for cheap from Adam Ulrich used. So anyway, they're in great and very sturdy. Got our Simpson harnesses in. I don't have my harness bar yet, so I cannot install the shoulder harnesses, but everything else is done and ready to go. So once the harness bar gets here, which should be in the next week or two, we can finish that and check that off the list. So progress. Got ourselves some fenders, quarters, and a front bumper for the wide body. Thank you to my buddy Logan Palmer, who gave me a good deal on this stuff. And we'll go get it painted, and it'll match the rest of the car instead of being yellow. And it'll hopefully be wide enough to cover our sick wheels, which I cannot wait for. This is one of the most exciting parts of the car, and I cannot wait. So anyway, those will go get painted, and we'll keep moving on here. Got my handbrake mocked up in there, and I'm running my lines, or line, I guess, to start with. And they recommend going up through on top of the tunnel and underneath the carpet, and then back through the fiberglass back here. But I kind of wanted something, being everything's out, I wanted something a little different. So I ran a bulkhead fitting here. It's AN, and I'll run a 90 here up underneath this little channel here, and then just keep it right along the frame back here, and then split it off from back there. I'll show you what that looks like from up top. Pretend like you didn't see that. Pretend like that hole right there doesn't exist, because I moved it here and I actually flopped it around. So this will keep it up closer to the chassis going from the top down, and I'll show you up top how this should work. So here's the other end of that fitting. And I think I'm probably going to go get either a 45-degree AN fitting, or maybe a 90, and just run it back and over. This is a little ABS deal that doesn't really need to be there anymore, but I'm just going to leave it for now. I'm trying to leave as much crap in here that's original as possible, on the slim chance that it goes back to stock. But anyway, I'll try and find I only need maybe a foot. Yeah, a little over maybe. I'll measure that and get a -3 ordered. Got the rear spindles off. Going to start the FDF kit, which is these little guys. So this allows us to run a second caliper. We're running those guys over there, part of the kit. So we'll have our normal caliper, which will now be a Willwood, and then we'll have a second caliper, and then a pickup point here for the tie rod. And then we'll be using our After Dark Speed tie rods, which are going to fit perfectly right here. And then their After Dark Speed offsets, bump steer kit, and their camber adjustment plates. So, and their little spacer for the rear sway bar to make a little bit more room for all the shenanigans going on back there. So stay tuned. Dunzo. That was fantastic. Like half hour. You cut the tie rod arm off, shave it down a little bit, shave down this area, plop them in the brackets, bolt them in. Dunzos. That is slick. I'm pretty happy with that. I need a few different fittings though, so I'll be running back to the race shop tomorrow. I also have one fitting coming from Amazon tomorrow, which is Friday, so probably be able to crank out the rest of that stuff Saturday pretty easily and basically finish both of the braking systems. Doing it a little differently than they said, which I've already mentioned, but I definitely should work out pretty slick. So I'll update you once I have it all together. I think I got my brakes finished up. I'll show you kind of around. Front part of the master cylinder goes up yonder. Sorry, there's a big old harness in the way. Splits here, comes down to that bracket, left front, runs around the front, over to this one, and that one will obviously go to the right front. And then rear brake goes here, and I'm using a lot of these clips for where the stock evap stuff was on here. Then it gets kind of interesting. So go along here, split to two, right and left to these brackets, which I'm not certain yet if they can even stay there, because this is kind of like the relief area for the axle to go up and down. So there's a pretty good chance I end up moving that back to the cradle. Time will tell. And then the other one is the drift brake, which I've got running right here with a bulkhead fitting. That hole doesn't exist. Behind that guy, along here, up yonder, there to a T fitting off to each side, some heat insulation, made a few brackets, another bulkhead out there and out there. So hopefully that works. Plus I believe I can still maintain the parking brake with this kit, so we'll have the parking brakes involved too. While I'm down here too, these are my 5th point for the harnesses, just drilled through there. So otherwise, that's about it for this update. Blasting. Woo-hoo. Yeah, baby. Final update of this episode. Some more parts are rolling in, which has been awesome. Got some sweet 2-ways from Viking Performance. We're almost finished with the artwork for the back here. This is where the sponsor decal is going to go. It's being a street car, we're going to not put stickers all over the car. Instead, we're going to have kind of a cohesive rear bumper wrap setup. Ordered some cheap brake rotors. Still waiting on heads to come back. That's been a big pain in my butt because I really want to get done with this. And there's a few other engine parts we're waiting on, but did get the power steering pump transferred over to the brand new Detroit Speed Engineering unit, which I'm excited to put back in the car here eventually. A few more parts have been arriving, and we got this little beauty. I haven't got it installed completely yet, but I plan to glue it up tomorrow, so that'll be a part of my next episode. But this is from Faircloth Composites, and you probably didn't know that they make inner fenders. They make almost every panel for a C6. They make the apertures, and I believe they make the halo, and tons of sweet stuff. So this thing fits up perfectly. Just a little trimming, getting rid of a few parts I didn't need because I have part of that inner structure still there. So yeah, I'm excited to get this part done. That one was one of the biggest ones I was worried about because it's something I've never done before. So my glue just showed up today. You gotta get some fancy panel bond for that. So I also got the steering wheel set up, mounted. Not that I can do it with one hand. There we go. So that'll be ready to roll. Because I can't get my shifter in because there's no torque tube yet, I can't get this panel back in place, and I can't put my handbrake back in place. So that's been kind of frustrating, but I do have my switches run for my electric fans up there, which you've just heard. I'll show you the final, when that's all put back together, how that came out. We have some other parts that you guys haven't seen yet. Still have a giant mess. I should probably spend some time tomorrow cleaning up. But we got some blue goodies here. And I installed some ARP extended lug studs. And found out one of my wheel bearings is bad. So I ordered another wheel bearing plus 2 spares to have with in the trailer. That's basically it. Trying to think if there's anything else that's new and exciting since I've updated you guys. No, you've seen this. Still waiting on the harness bar. That's also been frustrating. Apparently it's pretty common for this one that I bought for this guy to be really slow. So anyway, yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Next episode we'll have probably a lot more of a mismatch of this and that, and just still waiting on some parts to show up. So it's going to be a little here, a little there, but thank you all for watching. Appreciate you.